Hello folks, welcome back to Wayfarer VCV Rack Patches. I'm your host, Dr. Lawrence W. Moore of the Wayfarer Project. In this episode, we are going to see how to make another auto-generative piece or element or layer of a piece. I was working on a patch earlier and I thought, hey, this is pretty cool, should share this. Basically, it sounds like a minimalist pattern pulse piece that's for like Mallet. I'm using filtered noise to create the kind of mallet sound, although I'm not really interested in it being super realistic as a mallet instrument, but just kind of like these pitched patterns that are somewhat repetitive, reminiscent of the minimalist pattern pulse style. So in any case, it just might be something you might find inspiring for your own music, and at least it's fun looking at other people's patches and seeing what folks do. So without any further ado, let's get on with it. Okay, so here is the patch that I made before recording this episode. Turn it up gradually. Okay, so at the heart of this is the shebang node generator here, or node sequencer, I guess is the proper name for it. And the sounds are being produced using our old friend Audible Instruments Macro Oscillator 2, using some randomization, some enveloping, and some panning and stuff. So let's build it together. It may not come out exactly the same way, but I'll show you lots of ways in which you can customize it and do different things. Let me see here. I want to open up my mixer template patch right here. If this is the first video you're seeing in the series, in episode 1, the previous video, I made a patch there and I gave an explanation and walkthrough of setting up my mixer setting that I like to use for patch making. I'm using 8 channels here from the MindMeld mixer. If you want to check that episode out, it is a good one. Check it out, and if you need an explanation of these different modules and how they work together. The only thing that's different than in that episode is I added the MSC hack compressor here at the end for the main outs from the mixer to go through before it goes to the audio out. Okay, so let us start with the shebang node sequencer, which is right here. Now, if you're not familiar with this, I'm going to give you a bit of an overview. Let me get rid of some of these extra nodes here. These gray circles are what are called nodes. They basically are a pitch. They also cause a trigger when a generator sends, there you saw one, sends a signal to a node. Basically, it's all about distance, whether or not the generator can actually send a signal to a node or not. And when it sends a signal to a node, it triggers a trigger that corresponds to the color of the generator that sent the signal. In this case, the aqua one down here. You have a trigger, and then you have a pitch. And so basically, when that signal reaches the node, whatever pitch this node is, will then come out the pitch here. And whatever the and whatever color generator has sent that signal will also have a trigger out. And the generators can actually be set to different octaves here. So that's the main principle. I am going to clear the stack here. And I'm going to organize these in a way I like to when I'm kind of working through some ideas, where basically if I put them about this far apart, I can put nodes. Oops, I created one by accident. If you don't click right on the generator when you're trying to move it, you will create a node. And I keep creating nodes because I can't click on that one right. There we go. Basically, you click, you create a node if it's in space of any kind. If you want to get rid of a node, you swipe it off the viewable area. But once again, I'm positioning these so that way I could put some nodes down here, for example, that I only want red to stimulate. Or I could put some in between others where basically in a position like this, I could say, okay, red and cyan, you're sharing these that I would put here. Blue, and purple, you're sharing these, or purple alone, you're getting this, I can basically organize what generators will go to what nodes so I can control what pitches get generated. And then generation of pitches is determined by this setting here, position or size. Now, I have not found a way to control the size of the node when I click to make it. Of course, I haven't read the manual, but I've tried so many different things. It just hasn't worked. So I usually have it on position, where like in the center would kind of like be the tonal center that you select here. Now, you don't have to think of this as a tonal center. You could think of it as the first note in the list. And the list is whatever scale you select with this dial here. And there's a variety of scales, modes in this overall selection area here. It depends on what notes are being emphasized, and that will, to the listener, sound like a tonal center. But I'm going to put it on A for now. And you see there's major, minor. Well, basically it goes through the modes, major, minor, which is the Aeolian mode. So when you go up to the next one, it's Dorian. It skips Ionian because that's major. Basically, it's the same. Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, Locrian. It skipped Aeolian because that's the minor mode. And now I'm going to keep going up here. As you see, there's octophonic. There's there's some things that aren't even scales in here. Just excuse me a moment because I'm looking for pentatonic, and I'm hoping I find it soon. Minor pentatonic or major. See, there's major seventh, or minor seventh. It's not. It goes beyond scales. Come on. Pentatonic, where are you? Chromatic, whole tone. There we go. Minor pentatonic. I want major. How about that? At least that's what I selected before, and it sounded pretty cool. So we have A, major pentatonic. So A would be somewhere in the center here. There's no lines to indicate exact location. You'd have to kind of use your ear. But in a lot of cases, you're using this so that you don't have to make hardcore decisions. And so you just kind of go with it. So anyway, what I'm going to use to actually be the sound is our friend, the Audible Instruments Macro Oscillator 2. We used this last time on the mode of particle noise. The thing about that is it basically gave us kind of like a pitch area that these different particles would be in, and you could adjust how wide it was using the harmonic knob and the number of particles emanating per second with the timbre knob and so forth. But you couldn't really select pitch. So I was playing around about saying, well, what if we use filtered noise? Could I then give pitch to little particles of sound, so to speak, using the shebang node sequencer here? So let us also put up an envelope here so the sound can go on and off. So let's start with red. And incidentally, the timing mechanisms up here, there's BPM and a play button. It comes with the play button on. Move and speed is for when you, like if you turn on move, the generators, the color generators here will start moving around according to their own kind of orbit and gravity and so forth. And then the speed is how quickly they move. We'll check that out later. Right now I'm going to use blue as my trigger color coding. It sends triggers out, so you need to use an envelope that can deal with a trigger. And so basically, no, what am I doing? I want the attack as quick as possible. Decay and sustain I turn all the way up, and then I turn release all the way up, but there is going to be, actually I'll just put it here for now so we don't have to wait too long for it to close off. And then I put a green cable for output here because it's now technically a gate coming out. Put it on volume there. And then let's hook up our audio cable, left mono in. Now we also need to hook up the pitch here. And then we need a node for the generator to send to. Let's put one right in the middle here. Now I also like to use A432 tuning, and by ear I was able to determine it somewhere very close to negative 0.3734 on this macro oscillator. Now we're getting some filtered noise there. Let's shape this a little bit. This is giving you your pitch, really. So we're going to leave that as I set it. This is giving you kind of like the amount of graininess, or the, not the amount, but the like frequency region of the noise, graininess. And then here, the timbre knob in this sound gives you little, it's almost like the noise particles again, but it's different this time. There it's like a little pulsing of it. That's even more. That's even more. I like this where you can hear them individually as almost like pulses. And then here we have our morph. This is giving us more focused pitch. And beforehand, I kind of determined here this 3 o'clock position is pretty good. So what I'm going to do here now, since the sound is so faint, on channel 1 of my compressor, I found that putting the threshold to about there, 9 o'clock, and the output at about 10 o'clock, gives me pretty good signal. Okay, now I actually established this as something where I was basically going to use multiple instances of these. And that means in order to get some differentiation here, I decided my differentiation for the different color generators is going to be octave. So I'm going to spread them out a little bit here. Keep you in the middle. Put you 2 clicks to there. And you 4 clicks. Right about there. Yeah, 3 o'clock position. Let me make sure here. Right there. Good. So there'll be low, medium high, and high for these different generators. So we're starting with the lower one, red here. It's still sounding pretty quiet to me. Initialize you. I think I'll turn you up a bit. Sounds pretty good. Now, I decided I would add an extra element to this. Because of the nature of the sound, I'd like to vary the release time of the envelope. And so I decided a good way to do that would be with our random module. VCV. The random module basically gives you a random result of the range that you set here. There's a probability slider so that you can say how likely it is to actually select the next random number. 50% means 50-50 yes or no. And the rate is how quickly a random number is generated. But if you hook up a trigger, and we are generating a trigger with each event here, right here. Oh, I want blue for triggers. There we go. Now we're triggering a random value. And what I did is I just hooked this up from the linear out here. So when it goes from one value to another, there's a linear change. And I tested that out. But I'm going to set you all the way up to start. With each triggered event, there should be a new random value sent. Actually, what I did before was exponential. Let's try that. Yeah, there we go. So you get some short envelope openings and longer ones. You get both. I think we're distorting from the compressor here. Yeah. So turn you down a little bit. And maybe raise the threshold a bit. Okay, sounds pretty cool. Now, what I'm going to do is actually put you on the other side so the cables don't cover the GUI. Which means I can move you guys to the edge here. What I'm going to do is take a copy of these. And we are going to basically use generator 2, which is aqua. Trigger out. We're going to hook it up the same way. Trigger goes to random as well as the envelope. And then pitch goes in here. Let's hook this up to the channel 2 in the mixer. On its volume input. And then the audio can now be hooked up. And we will hear a higher octave. Ooh, yep. What do you mean? What? That's right, not there. Here. Now it needs a little bit of boost from the compressor. There we go. I'm hearing, yeah, a little bit of scratchiness, so there we go. All right, so here we got those two. Let's do two more. Excuse me. That one came so quick it caught me before I was able to hit the mute button. Oh, come on, not over there, buddy. Well, I guess there's not enough room here. We'll fix that. And now, these guys need the same setup. And we're going to basically hear, since that note is in between all four of these, we're going to hear the same stuff. It's best to hook up first. We have a trigger here. And a trigger here. Pitch. I do that in yellow, thank you very much. Oh, and I did green here. I'm all messed up. Sorry about that, folks. I'm anal about this sometimes because when you look at patches later, it's nice to have your color coding be accurate so you know what's what. Okay. Gotta hook up the gate. This is channel 3, and now the audio can be hooked up. Okay. And let's give that guy the same compression settings. Are similar. It's kind of in a frequency area that comes through to our ears with more emphasis, so it doesn't need as much boosting. Yeah, that should be good. All right, and then the last one. This will be for the purple generator. Two triggers. Pitch. Gate out. And then we are going to have our audio hookup. Now this one doesn't come through as strong, I don't think, so we'll maybe have to boost this one a little bit more, although I'll just play it by ear here. There we go. Yeah, we could actually add some more pitches to this. How about something just for purple to do? Well, you can have purple and blue do it. Have red and aqua do. Well, let's try this. This is what I did. The version before. I also had some nodes here on the outside, although if you think about it, since the blue and the purple are on the same vertical axis, they're really playing the same pitch, but now, another thing that I I did to this was because everything's just coming down the center. Let's have some panning involved. Is this the same mode as before? Am I really in A major pentatonic? Yeah. It's sounding different. And I left space for these guys here. Basically, I'm going to have two of the Befaco attenuators. And this will be for generator 1, which is the red one, which is all the way over here. And I'll take the linear out from here. So now that random generator is also going to be giving us random panning locations, and we'll hook this up here to the pan input of channel 1, and we basically want to give it, I'm going to give it about this wide of a reach to left and right, and keep the offset in the center. And we could literally set the other 3 to the same settings. What am I? Oh, that's right. This goes to the linear output from the random generators. While I'm here, might as well hook that one up to where it goes. And, oh, come on. You go here. Linear. Yeah. And linear. Now these outputs go to the actual pan inputs on the mixer. We're hearing them move now, folks. There we go. Now these are essentially the same pitch here. But as these nodes are hit at different times, it's basically bringing us back to that pitch a little bit more often and really making it sound like a tonal center. And now, to raise it up, a whole new level. Let's add some reverb. I'm going to use my favorite setting on the Surge XT Reverb 2, which is Now That's Echo. There you go. Channels 1, 2, 3, and 4 are going to group 1, and we're going to send group 1 to the effect. Take a screenshot of that. Now I am going to save this, and I recommend you do that before trying what I'm going to try here. This is the one that I made before the episode, but I could just change the version letter to B there, so we don't overwrite it. Now this setting as is on disk, and what you can do then is see if you like when these generators roam by hitting the move button. And you can adjust their speed of movement with this dial. And you can even influence them a bit. Say you like red to be around here for a little while. Oops, keep dragging it there. But don't make a new node by accident like I did. And so since this is like an upper octave up here and a lower octave down here, these different nodes, depending on where they are, will be in slightly different octaves. Although we do have their octave settings here, it basically gives them two options. So if you're tired of the Aqua oscillator doing a higher octave than what it normally does, then you can grab it. If you miss it, you make a node. There we go. So you want to keep blue up here, put it back up. Ah, made another node. Now I'm going to stop moving, and this is why I saved it, because it's not easy to get back to exactly what you had before. Now I'm going to try. I think I might have gotten it. Actually, that sounds better. There, I'm going to save that. So there we go. If you have any questions, please leave a comment. I answer questions. And basically any interactions, like hitting that like button, leaving a comment, that all helps this series grow. And so please drop me a line in the comment section if you can. Yeah, so until next time, take care and keep your nodes under control.